I'm going to get back to you.
All right, welcome to the 2025 Dawson County Dairy Show. We're going to get started off with our dairy showmanship. We're going to go order juniors, intermediates, seniors. You folks have grabbed a program. They are purple and they are over in the middle of the arena.
If you're just joining us now for the Dairy Show, our judge again is Cal Schultz. He's originally from Fair Board, Minnesota. He went to college at Mountain Community College, participated on the livestock judging team, and got his associates in agribusiness. And he is currently a faculty member at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and the head coach of the livestock judging team. Let's give it up for our judge. I know it's not too hot yet, but if you're thirsty, we have bottles of water down here in the middle of the arena, sponsored by Waypoint. So please feel free to come and grab a bottle of water. Coming in the ring now, we have Junior Dairy Showmanship with Katie Wolf from Cozad and Jackson Anderson.
Here in our junior showmanship division for the dairy show, I think we have two young kids out here that are both working really hard this afternoon, and they both seem to be really enjoying it. But when it comes down to selecting the champion to reserve, one of them is just a little bit more comfortable and has just a shot more control of their animal out here, and are able to get them stopped and set up just a little bit more consistently. So the young lady at the front of the line is going to be your champion showman, and the young man will be a reserve. Let's go ahead and put our hands together.
In the junior dairy showmanship, our champion is Katie Wolf from Cozad, and our reserve is Jackson Armstead from Cozad. And the champion dairy showmanship trophy is sponsored by Wood River Dairy. So if someone here is from Wood River Dairy, if they'd like to come down and take a picture, that'd be great. Thank you. Could we please start lining up intermediate dairy showmanship, please? Coming into the ring now, we have intermediate dairy showmanship with Allie Barnes from Gothenburg, Augustus Barnes from Gothenburg, Molly Spratman from Cozad, and Haley Jensen from Cozad.
For our intermediate division, we have 4 talented showmen out here that are all doing a really nice job getting their animals stopped and set up out here and presenting them to a high level. There's a couple individuals that are just a little bit quicker and more efficient in the way that they go about getting their animals stopped and set up, and those 2 are the ones who are ultimately going to soar to the top here for our showmanship division. But I'll go out and show you who those 2 individuals are. But again, let's put our hands together for these exhibitors out here.
In our intermediate dairy showmanship, our champion is Molly Stradlin. Our reserve champion is Haley Jensen. The champion intermediate dairy showmanship trophy is sponsored by Wood River Dairy. All right, we are ready for senior dairy showmanship and single entry, Salem Winters.
just a single entry out here in our senior showmanship division for the Dairy Cattle Show. But let's put our hands together for Samuel for coming out and graduating our championship.
Our champion senior dairy showmanship winner is Samuel Winter, and that trophy is sponsored by the Dawson County 4-H Foundation. As we kick off our dairy show, we're going to start with the single entry class, the spring heifer calf class, and our single timber is best farms.
Wonderful. How about you? You feel like you're getting
Just a single entry out here to kick off our dairy show, and I think a really nice one to lead off with. I think it's a very feminine, good balance kind of a female that is really nice in her structure, both both in motion and on the move. I think that's a nice female to go ahead and kick off our show. Let's put our hands together for this young man.
Coming out of our spring heifer class, we're going to best farms. A quick announcement for all our feeder calf exhibitors. Following the dairy show, we will be going right into the feeder calf show. So please be paying attention. We will be going right into the feeder calf show after the dairy show is over. opportunity to bring next our winter heifer calf class. We have Katie Wolf, Allie Barnes, and then 2 entries from Jackson Armstead, and the second one being exhibited by Lizzie David.
None of the other kids want to go. So I can hang out. No, I'm fine. I'm just letting it know. That's what she's doing.
Here in our second class of the dairy cattle show, our top 2 heifers out here, I think, are both really nice. I think there's some trade-offs, but the heifer I opted to lead off with, I think, holds an advantage from just a structure and performance standpoint. When the cattle are pulled the lead, she's the bigger footed heifer that's more relaxed in the angle of her shoulder and knee, and just reads the shot more comfortable and correct up either end of her structure, stepping behind the cattle, and she's still bouldering her rib cage and wire out through her pin set. But I do think it's close because the heifer that comes here in second, I think is a really refined kind of a female that's neater in her head shape and the top side of her neck. I like the strength she has down her top line, how level she is out through her hip. It's just when you get off to the side of this one, she's just too upright in the angle of her shoulder and knee. Isn't quite as just bold in her rib, and I want to just stack her up in the size of her feet and her bone underneath her. But a nice pair of cattle to go ahead and lead off with. Moving on to the young man's heifer that's going to come out here next is a long-bodied, high-performing, loose-structured kind of a female, and I appreciate that about her. I'll just get off to the side of this one. I need to see her balance up just a shot better from the side. She's deeper and plainer about her front end, around her out through her hip, and just shallow in her body type. I just want to fix her in that regard. And the heifer that's going to round out the class, a really level top kind of a female that's very strong and right behind her shoulder. She's level from hooks to pins, but another one that we need to fix from just a balance and structure standpoint. She's a shorter neck, straighter shoulder heifer. This is not quite as soft in her rib, but a nice classic cattle out here. Let's go ahead and put our hands together for these kids.
Coming back for our final drive in the dairy show, we have Claudia, Delta Dawn, exhibited by Dally Barnes, and Sunshine, exhibited by Lizzie David. And then our two blues are Spicy, exhibited by Jackson Olmstead, and Claudia, exhibited by Katie Wolf. Coming into the ring next, we have our winter yearling class with Caroline, exhibited by Gus Barnes.
I'll help you with that one.
Young man brought us up another nice single intro here in this class. A really big-footed and flexible kind of a heifer that's very double down her tump and out through her hip. I appreciate all those things about her. Maybe want to see her just a little bit neater, more attractive up there through her front end and softer back into her rib and her flank, but still a very nice female in this single intro class. Let's put our hands together for them.
Coming out of our third class is Gus Barnes with Caroline. Quick announcement, we have a Scotch cone at the front table with the initials N and H on it, I think. So if you're missing one, come get it. Up next in our dairy show, we have the 2-year-old class with Dally Barnes' Trina, Samuel Lynch's Heidi, and Katie Wolf's Ray.
Here in our 2-year-old class, so the young lady's cow that's going to go ahead and lead off with, I think, is a really feminine, neat-looking kind of a female that's very bold and soft in her rib. She's very strong in her foreudder attachment. Her teats are spaced evenly, but she's still plenty sound enough in her structure for me. Nice one to go ahead and lead off with. The heifer that's going to come here in second, I do think has an advantage from a structure standpoint. She's the bigger footed heifer that's more correct in the shape of her feet down low. She's stronger down the top line and lower out to her hip as well. Just doesn't have the same kind of boldness and softness to her rib. Isn't quite as just far along there from from a lactation standpoint as well. But I think she's got the parts and pieces there for her to be a very nice cow once she's in production. And the heifer that's going to lead off the class, or round out the class, excuse me, a really high performing, soft body kind of female that we just need to tweak structurally just a bit. She wants to toe out up front, needs to plant a square and more secure the way that she utilizes her rear leg. But a nice class of females out here. Let's get these exhibitors around the class.
Coming out of our 2-year-old dairy class, we have Dally Barnes exhibiting Trina and Samuel Winter exhibiting Heidi coming back for our final drive. And then we have Katie Wolf exhibiting Brandy with a Blue. Coming into the ring next, we have our 3-year-old class with Molly Spradlin exhibiting Clementine and Dally Barnes exhibiting Dolly Parker.
Nice pair of females out here in this class. The young lady's cow that I'll lead off with. Her udder shape and just balance of it just reads a shot more attractive to me. She's stronger in her fore udder attachment. It balances up better. Teach her just a shot more even and refined in her spacing as well. And then when she couples that with just a shot more balanced female dairy cow kind of look from the side, I think that's a nice one to go ahead and lead off with. But I do think that there's some trade-offs to come here with the cow that's in second. She is the bigger footed, wider, and more dimensional heifer who's just a shot higher performing and longer body. But with that, she doesn't balance up quite as well from the side. She's plainer up front, deeper in her chest, shallow in her body type, and just isn't quite as even in her her teeth spacing, her size as well. But still a very nice female to round out the class. Very nice cattle. Let's go ahead and give those young ladies a nice round of applause.
Coming out of our 3-year-old class, the class winner is Molly Spradlin, exhibiting Clementine, and our reserve in the class is Valley Barnes, exhibiting Wellington. Coming into the ring next is our 4-year-old class with a single entry, JoJo, exhibited by Hayden Jensen.
Nice single entry here in this class, a really dimensional, loose structured kind of cow in her own right, and I appreciate that about her. I needed to see her balance up just a shot better from the side from a structure standpoint, and then the suspension in her udder and the way that her teeth are spaced. Just want to clean that up, make it just a shot more balanced, but still a very nice cow in this single entry class.
The class winner from our single entry 4-year-old class is Haley Jensen, exhibiting JoJo. Coming into the ring next, we have our last class of dairy, the 5-year-old and up class, with Gus Barnes exhibiting Theo and Katie Wolf exhibiting Gerda. Quick reminder to all of our feeder calf exhibitors, after the dairy show is over, we will be rolling right into the feeder calf class. with junior showman and
another nice pair of cows out here in this division. The young lady's female that I opted to assign with, really high-performing, long-bodied, blue-structured kind of a cow. Her udders is shot more refined in the way that it's put together. Her teats are more refined and evenly spaced. The forudder attachment is just a shot stronger. That paired with her extra just look and balance and presence from the side, it allows her to start this particular class. Nothing to take away from the young man's cow that's going to come here in second, because that's a huge bodied, very dimensional kind of female who's still really big-footed as well. She just doesn't quite balance up as good from the side. When compared back to our class winner, she's just shot plainer in the shape of her head and her neck, and she's just a bit coarser and more uneven in the way that her udder is put together, but it's still a nice pair of cows. Let's go ahead and put our hands together for these exhibitors.
coming out of our 5-year-old up class, we have our class winner, Katie Wolf, exhibiting Gertie, and our reserve class goes to Gus Barnes, exhibiting Theo. We are currently setting up the final drag for the dairy show, so if you all are showing feeder calves and showmanship, you should be making your way to the staging area. We'll be starting with juniors and intermediates and then seniors. Really quick announcement, we still have a Scotch cone at the head table with the initials MH. So if you or somebody that you know has the initials MH, please tell them we have their cone at the head table. All right, coming to the ring now, we have our final drive for the 4-H Dairy Show. Coming in first from our spring heifer class is Gus Barnes, exhibiting Geraldine. From our winter heifer class, we have Valley Barnes, exhibiting Delta Dawn. From our winter yearling class, we have Gus Barnes again, exhibiting Caroline. In our 2-year-old class, we have Valley Barnes, exhibiting Trina. In our 3-year-old class, we have Molly Spradlin, exhibiting Clementine. In our 4-year-old class, we have Haley Jensen, exhibiting JoJo. And from our 5-year-old hunt class, we have Katie Wolf, exhibiting Gertie. This is the final call for junior showmanship in the feeder cat division, so if you aren't already in the staging area, hustle up.
Well, it's been a joy sorting through the dairy cattle here this afternoon. I thought there's been several very good animals that came through the ring here this afternoon, but I'll go and show you which one's my favorite, and then we'll get a chance for that second place in that division to come back in before I pick a reserve. But let's put our hands together for these kids out here for coming out, and they're doing a really good job this afternoon.
Your champion dairy cow is coming to you from the 5-year-old up class. It is Gertie, exhibited by Katie Wolf. Coming back in from the 5-year-old class is Gus Barnes' Theo. Your reserve champion cow from the dairy show is Molly Spradlin's Clementine from the 3-year-old class. The champion and reserve champion banners for the dairy show are sponsored by the Dawson County Ag Society. And that concludes our dairy show. So feeder calves, get ready. The junior feeder calf showmen are lining up, so if you are still in the barns, you should be making your way over here. We're about to enter the ring.
Yes, no, that sounds good. Yeah, what then? Are you working that hard?
Not running showmanship. Yeah, and then do the first call for that second. Second
Entering the ring now, we have our first class of junior showmanship for the Peter Calf division. And in our junior showmanship today, we have Jacob McArdle, Brent Terrell, Mason McConnell, Maddie Anderson, Parker Caraway, Owen Lassen, Clay Terrell, Michelle McArdle, and Abby Carroll.
Here in our first heat of junior showmanship for the feeder calf show, these two young men over here to my left are the ones that are going to get to come back. They're just a little bit more comfortable out here in the ring. I think the big thing at this stage of the game is just being comfortable using the show halter and the show stick. I think that's definitely a challenging thing to figure out at this stage of the game, especially when the show stick's taller than the showman a lot of the times. But let's go ahead and give these kids a big round of applause as they exit the ring.
Receiving purples and returning for our final drive in junior showmanship for our first class, we have Rix McConville and Parker Caraway. And then receiving blues, we have Jacob McArdle, Maddie Anderson, and Brett Terry. This is first call for intermediate showmanship for the feeder calves, first call. Entering the ring now, we have our second class of junior showmanship in the feeder calf show with Owen Lassen, Clay Terrell, Michelle McArdle, and Gabby Caraway.
Here in our second heat, the junior showmen, these two showmen over here to my right are the ones that are going to get to come back. But I thought collectively this heat was very deep, and I thought these kids were doing a really nice job out here. Clay, you're doing a nice job. Just got to get them set up just a little bit quicker. And young lady, I think you know what you're doing. Your heifer is just not really wanting to cooperate with you today, and it's kind of just how it goes sometimes. But let's give these kids a big round of applause as they exit the ring, and we'll move on to our champion drive for junior showmen.
Receiving purples and returning from class 2 of junior showmanship and feeder calf show, we have Owen Lassen and Gabby Caraway. And then receiving blues, we have Clay Terrell and Michelle McArdle. This is the final call for intermediate showmanship for the feeder calf show. We will be doing our final drive of the junior showmanship next. Quick announcement, we have root beer floats over in the corner of the arena, sponsored by Homestead Bank. So if you're feeling some ice cream and some root beer like I was earlier, go over there and get a root beer float. Entering the ring now, we have our final drive of junior showmanship in the feeder calf show with Parker Caraway, Owen Lassen, Riggs McConville, and Gabby Caraway.
Out here in our junior showmanship drive, I think collectively we have a group of very talented exhibitors out here, and I think it'd be fun to watch these 4 kids continue to battle it out at the county fair every year, summer after summer. But today, I think there's a couple in particular that just separate themselves and just a little bit more comfortable and consistent and quicker in how they get their animals stopped and set up from the side. But I'll go and show you who our champion and reserve showmen are. But again, let's put our hands together for these kids.
Your champion junior showman for the feeder calf show is Owen Lassen, and your reserve champion is Evan. Your showman should be making your way to the staging area if you're not already. We're going to be making our way into the ring shortly. And then again, if we could have someone from 2 Bar Inch Cafe come down and take a photo with our trophy winners, that would be great. And there is root beer floats in the northwest corner of the arena, so please go get a root beer float sponsored by Homestead Bank. Entering the ring now, we have our intermediate division for showmanship in the feeder calf show. And with us today, we have Augustus Barnes, Bristol McConville, Caden Spar, Megan Lassen, Gavin Barnes, Lathan Johnson, Katie Anderson, Haley Jensen, and Ashley Ryan. This is the final call for senior showmanship in the feeder calf show. If you're still at the barns, please be making your way over. We are doing our one and only class of intermediate showmanship right now. So if you aren't already over here, please start making your way to the staging area.
Here in our intermediate division, again, we have a lot of kids out here working really hard. And I know there's a lot of work and effort at home that it takes to get baby calves like this ready for an early county fair like this. So my compliments to you exhibitors out here for working hard at home to get them ready for show day today. But there's a couple individuals out here that I think stick out. They're just a little bit quicker and more efficient in how they get cattle presented out here, and I'll go out and show you who those two exhibitors are. But let's give these kids a big round of applause.
Our champion intermediate showmanship and feeder calf show is Kristen McConville, and our reserve champion is Lathan Johnson. The sponsor of the trophy for intermediate showmanship is Alan Henry. So can you please take a picture with our champion intermediate showmanship. This is final call for senior showmanship and the feeder calf show. Final call. Senior showmanship for our feeder calf show with Brantley Malcolm, Jalen Wolfinger, Addison Howard, Emma Howard, and Lexi Johnson. This is our one and only class in senior showmanship, so if you have a market steer in the feeder calf show, you should be waiting in the staging area.
Out here in our senior showmanship division, again, we have a couple individuals that probably just separate themselves out here in terms of getting their animals stopped and set up just so very quick and efficiently, and then also staying on top of the little details like head placement, making sure that their tail is sitting down in them the way that it needs to. All those little details really go a long way. But I'll go out and show you who our champion and reserve showmen are. And again, let's give these kids a big round of applause.
Your champion senior showmanship for the Peter Calf show is Jalen Littlefinger, and your reserve is Lexi Johnson. The trophy for the senior showmanship is sponsored by the Daryl Kaiser family, so if a member of the Kaiser family would come down and present the trophy, that would be awesome. Receiving clues from our senior division are Emma Howarder, Addison Howarder, and Braylee Malcolm. We still have root floats in the northwest corner of the arena, so if you're feeling a little thirsty and a little hungry at the same time, go ahead and get your root float, sponsored by Homestead Bank. This is the first and only call for the first class of our breeding heifer show with Brett Terrell, Woods McConville, and Clay Terrell. Please make your way to the staging area. Coming into the ring now, we have the first class of our breeding heifer calf show with Brett Terrell, Riggs McConville, and Clayton.
Nice pair of heifers up top to lead off this particular class, and I definitely think there's trade-offs amongst them, but I both think they balance really well. But the young lady stepping there out to decide with, I think it's just a shot more laid back in the angle of her shoulder and knee. She blends smoother from the point of her shoulder to a bolder center body. And she's got quite a bit just more mass and dimension when you step in right behind the cattle. But the young man's heifer that's going to come here in second, I do think when parked from the side, I like the neatness of her lines, the attractiveness of her head, the top side of her neck specifically, and then the length she has down her top line and out through her hip, I think is all really neat. And I think her hip and that coupled with her hip and hind leg helps her balance really well from the side. At this stage of the game, though, she's quite a bit just flatter in her forehead. Wants to get just a little bit bigger there at the point of her shoulder, and those two things combined with not being just quite as stout and powerful as a heifer that's going to go out and win is ultimately why she's going to end up second today. But still a very nice kind of a female around coming up in here in second. This red heifer that the young lady's got that's going to come out here in third is not really one to be liking the idea of being a show heifer at this point in her life. I do think she's a neat looking heifer when she wants to pull together. I think she's level on her top line and out through her hip. She's got an attractive hind leg on her as well, which just when the cattle are pulled the lead. She's a shorter neck, straighter shouldered heifer who just doesn't maintain her balance quite as good as the cattle ahead of her, but still a very nice trio of females to kick off our show this afternoon. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause.
Receiving purples in our first class of the breeding show, New Calf Show is Clay Terrell and Rick McConville, and receiving a blue is Brett Terrell. Entering the ring now is Class 2 of our breeding heifer calf show, with exhibitors Clay Terrell, Addison Howder, and Michelle McCarthy. Play Terrell, and receiving the blue is Addison Howard. Entering the ring now is Class 3 Marguerite Heifer Calf Show with Owen Lassen, Parker Caraway, and Emma Howard.
Here in the second class of our breeding heifer show, the young man brought a really nice heifer to go out and win this particular class. I think it's unique how she's that neat and attractive in her front end, but can still open up with that kind of boldness and softness to her rib. I like the kind of power and dimension that she brings to the table when you step in behind the cattle as well. And I think it's impressive how she's still able to be flexible and correct up either end of her structure as she gets out and moves around the ring. I think that's a nice heifer to go ahead and lead off with. I'd like to just clean her up there in her navel ever so slightly to help her balance up just to shot better from the side. The red heifer that's going to come here in second is a really high-performing, long-bodied kind of a female that's got a lot of length and extension to her. While I think she reads flexible in her structure, I don't think she's as attractive in the build of her hip and hind leg as our class member. Want to soften her, open up in her rib just ever so slightly. The black heifer that's going to lead out the class, I think, represents a similar kind as the heifer that went just directly ahead of her in the sense that she's high-performing, long-bodied, and loose-structured compared to the cattle ahead of her. She's just not quite as neat and attractive in the front end the way that she's put together from the side. But let's go ahead and put our hands together for those exhibitors.
Coming into our third class of the breeding show, we have purples Owen Lassen and purple Fairway, and then blue Emma Howard. Coming into the ring next, we have class 4 with Kristen Conville, Gabby Fairway, and Addison Howard.
three extremely different kinds of cattle out here in this class. I think you could scramble around and justify them pretty much any way that you like them to. But the red roan heifer that I decided to lead off with, I think projecting these cattle out, her structure, look, and balance from the side, I think she's going to be the most excited to see if she continues to progresses on down the line. A really neat fronted, neat chested kind of a female that's big footed. I think of these three cattle, she's the most correct in her structure. She's particularly the most attractive in the way that she moves out of her hip and hind leg. She's not the softest body heifer by any stretch of the imagination out here in this class, but when you get in behind her, I think she's got enough boldness to her rib for her to continue to soften up as she gets fed on throughout the summer into the winter, and then into next year as a heavy bred. I think she's got the most exciting future of the three cattle out here in this particular class. That's ultimately why she's going to go ahead and lead off with. The red heifer that's going to come here in second, I think, is always going to be a very easy feeding, soft body, very practical kind of a cow long term for this young lady. Her softness of rib, her flexibility, and femininity, I think all reads. It indicates that she's going to go here, very productive cow. That's just right now. She's just playing her in her front end and her chest. I think that's just going to continue to not just progress in her favor as she continues to get older. Want to see her stouter and her bone work, and the biggest thing for her to go ahead and work up any higher. The heifer that's going to round out the class is still a very nice kind of a female. She's very big-footed. She's got some dimension to her. I like the kind of length and performance that she brings to the table as well. She's just quite a bit plainer in the way that she's put together from the side. Corrects her throat, chest, and tail head. Just prevent her from balancing quite as good as the other cattle directly ahead of her. But still a very nice trio of females in that class. Very nice pair of heifers out here in this, the last class of this division out here. The young lady's heifer that's going to go ahead and lead off with really neat fronted kind of a heifer that's massive and bold in her rib. She still has a ton of dimension and stoutness when you step in behind the cattle, and then when she's pulled the lead, she's very flexible and correct in her structure. We like to see her shot just bigger in her bone work, but that's critical of one that I think puts a lot of good pieces together. The heifer that's going to come here in second, she's the longer bodied, more extended heifer that's probably just going to be a shot bigger than her class winner long term. I like the extra just substance of bone that she has underneath her, and she's still back to our class winner. She's not quite as bold and soft in her rib. Want to clean her up in her navel as well, but still a very nice heifer to round out the class.
Coming into the ring now, we have our final drive of the breeding heifer calf show with our class winners.
progress with time, but I think there's one that wins very comfortably for me. I think she kind of checks everything I'm looking for, being maternal in her look, still being having some dimensions to her softness to her rib, still very correct in her structure. And then I think that there's different ways that you can go from there for reserve. But I'll go out and show you my favorite two after we pick our class winner and they get the second place back in here. But let's give these kids a big round of applause.
Our champion feeding heifer comes to you from the Daily Bull Fair. Our reserve comes to you out of the same class, and it's Lexi Johnson.
Another nice pair of heifers out here in the second class. So the young lady's black heifer that's going to lead off with is uniquely the neater fronted, more extended heifer that's still bigger footed, more powerful when you step in behind the cattle. And I think she still has plenty sound enough for me at this stage of the game for her to go ahead and win this particular class. A young man's red heifer that's going to come here in second. I think it's plenty functional kind of a cow in her own right. I like the moderation, the softness to her rib, and she is particularly looser in the way that her skeleton is put together when compared back to our class winner. Just down here in the market heifer division, she probably doesn't bring the kind of bone and power and boldness to the table that I'm looking for, but still a very practical kind of a female to round out the class. Let's give her a nice round of applause.
Our class winner coming out of the second class of the Market Heifer Show is Lexi Johnson, and our reserve in the class is Parker Caraway. Entering the ring now, we'll have our final drive of the Market Heifer Show with class winners Gaddy Caraway and Lexi Johnson. Following this, we will be rolling into the the Market Steer Show. So market steers, please be making your way to the staging area.
Out here in our market heifer grand drive, I think we have two very nice kind of cattle out here. When it comes down to champion, I think that the young lady's heifer out of the second class is going to win pretty comfortably for me. Let's go ahead and congratulate her and get the second place in that class out here in contention for reserve.
Your champion market heifer goes to Lexi Johnson. Entering the ring now is the reserve from that class, Parker Caraway. Your reserve champion market heifer goes to Gaddy Caraway. Entering the ring now, we have our first class of the Market Steer Calf Show with exhibitors Brandon Malcolm and Cassidy Wright.
Nice pair of steers to lead off this particular class, and I definitely think there's some trade-offs amongst them, but the young man still have to decide with. It just holds an advantage in terms of just a boldness of rib, shape over his top and out through his hip, and he's still the bigger-footed calf as well. That just reads more powerful throughout. That's ultimately why he's going to go ahead with this particular class. But the young lady steer definitely has an advantage in terms of just length and performance and frame at this stage of the game. He looks like he's going to be a high-performing, long-bodied, easy-feeding kind of a steer as well. It's just when you step in behind the cattle, he doesn't come with the same kind of just muscularity and dimension as our class winner. But let's go ahead and put our hands together for these exhibitors.
Coming out of our first class in the Market Steer Calf Show, we have purple is going to Brittany Malcolm and Cassidy Wright. Entering the ring now, we have our second class in the Market Steer Calf Show with exhibitors Valley Barnes and Jacob McGarvey.
Another nice pair of steers here in this class. The young man steer that we're going to lead off with, though, just combines balance and power and dimension just to a little bit higher degree out here at this stage of the game. He's the bolder body steer that's got more width down his top and out through his hip. Then with that, he still proportions up just a shot better from the side because he's more relaxed and correct in the way that his skeleton is put together. Nothing to take away from the red roan steer that's going to come here in second, because I still think that steer reads neat in his lines from the side. His neck comes down to the top side of his shoulder, he's level down his top and out through his hip. I still think he can have an attractive set to his hind leg when he wants to settle in out here. But when you compare him back to our class winner, he's not nearly as opened up in his body shape. Consequently, doesn't have the same kind of just mass and spread down his top or out through his hip. But a nice pair of steers out here in that class.
Coming out of Class 2 with purples, we have Class 3 Jacob McArdle, Class 4 Valley Golds. Entering the ring now, we have Class 3, the Market Steer Calf Show with exhibitors Allie Barnes, Mr. Pondville, Addison Howard.
Another nice trio of steers out here. The young lady's black steer that's going to lead off. I think he combines the kind of power, dimension, and body type that we're looking for at this stage of the game, while still having a neat look from the side. That's a long neck, big-footed, good balance kind of a calf that is flexible and correct in his structure, stepping behind the cattle, and he's still really bold in his body type. He's got a lot of shape down his top and out through his hip as well. A nice one to go ahead and lead off with. The black and white steer that's going to come here in second is the higher performing calf, who's leveler down his top and out through his hip. He's particularly got a really good shape over his rib and his loin, and I really appreciate that about him. He just needs to balance up just a shot better from the side for him to go ahead and get around my class winner. He's plainer there at the bottom side of his neck and gets just a shot crusty as well. Need to see him just neater in the way that he balances from the side. And then the steer that's going to round out the class is still a very good kind of a calf in his own right. He's long-bodied, big-footed, and flexible. Just needs to be softer in his rib and more dimensional when he's stepping behind him for him to compete with his contemporaries out here. Well, let's go ahead and give those young ladies a nice round of applause.
Receiving purples in our third class of the Market Steer Calf Show are class winner Mr. McConnell and class runner-up Addison Howard, and receiving the blue is Dally Barnes. Entering the ring now, we have class 4 with exhibitors Augustus Barnes, Maddie Anderson, and Riggs McConnell.
another nice trio of steers out here. But the young man's red steer is going to win pretty comfortably for me. Very easily, just the best balanced, the best looking steer out here in this particular class. He's good looking up front, but more importantly, he's got the right kind of bone and body shape for him to continue to progress in the right kind of way from a market animal standpoint. I like how he's big and wide out through his pin set and still very flexible and correct in the build of his hip and hind leg. A nice steer to go ahead and lead off with. I think there's some trade-offs between second and third, and I'm not going to argue with you one way or another. I just prefer the young man steer is just more a practical, easy feeding time. That's the more moderate steer that's softer in his rib. He's just a shot more flexible in the way that he's put together as well. I still think he's got enough just dimension and boldness when you step him behind him for him to already remain second in this class. But I wouldn't argue if you favor this red Baldy because of his extra length and extension and performance. And he's a bit more expressive in the shape just right out the backside of his shoulder. It's just for me personally, I want to see him just a little bit softer and more practical in his body type. I want to see him just a bit more dimensional when you get him right behind him, but still a very nice group of steers in that class. Let's go to those exhibitors around of applause.
Receiving purples in Class 4 our Market Steer Calf Show, Class runner Dixon Conville, and Class runner-up Augustus Barnes, and receiving the blue is Maddie Anderson. Coming into the ring now, we have Class 5 of our Market Steer Calf Show with the exhibitors Bristol McConville, Katie Anderson, and Lathan Johnson.
I think we have a nice pair of cattle here at the top end of this class, and I think there's definitely a lot of trade-offs amongst them, but the red steer that I opted to side with, his advantage in just bone, muscularity, and body shape at this stage of the game, I believe is just going to be the more dimensional and powerful fast steer when we're all said and done. Step in front of or behind him, he's more opened up on either end of his structure. He's bolder in his rib cage. He's more expressive over his rib and loin. He's more powerful out of his hip. With that, I still think he's flexible enough in his structure underneath, although that is where I'd like to tweak on him, because I wish he was just a little bit smoother and cleaner in his joint work for me to be completely confident that he needs to go out and win this particular class, but still a nice one to go ahead and lead off with. The blaze face steer that's going to come here in second is intriguing, because that's a really smooth made, a sound structured kind of a calf that's really neat fronted. He's soft in his rib, and his joint work and structure is just a shot more comfortable for me, to be quite honest with you, in the way that he's going to continue to progress for this young man on down the line. It's just right now he's just not quite opened up enough in his rib cage for me to be comfortable that he's just going to get quite stout enough, because he's just a shot more peaked there over the backside of his shoulder. Doesn't have the same kind of just dimension and muscularity as our class winner. But I think that's a nice pair there at the top end. This red steer that's going to round out the class is a really high-performing, long body kind of a calf that's still got some shape and muscularity in his own right as well. But compared to our contemporaries out here in this class, he doesn't have the same kind of just look, balance, or body type for him to go ahead and compete out here today. But let's go ahead and give those exhibitors a nice round of applause.
Receiving purples in Class 5 of our Market Steer Calf Show are class winners Bristol McConville and class reserve Lathan Johnson. And receiving the blue is Katie Anderson. Entering the ring now, we have our 6th and final class of the Market Steer Calf Show with exhibitors Jalen Wolfinger and Emma Howard. This class will be followed by the final drive in the Market Steer Calf Show.
very nice steer to go ahead and lead off our final class today. A really good body, really good structured count of the calf. It's got a ton of shape and dimension when you step in behind the cattle, and still balances with the quality look. A nice one to go ahead and lead off with. The steer that's going to come here in second probably had a different end game in mind when this has been his genetic backing, but that's a really high-performing, long-bodied, good structured kind of a steer that's going to be very easy feeding for this young lady compared to our class winner. Just doesn't have the same kind of just show ring look and presence, but it's still a very practical kind of a feeding steer for her to round out this particular class. Let's give those young ladies a nice round of applause.
Recently organizing our sixth and final class, the Market Steer Calf Show. Our class winner, Jay Wolfinger, and class runner up, Emma Howard. Entering the ring now is our grand drive for the Market Steer Calf Show, with class winners Brantley Malcolm, Jacob McArdle, Kristen McConville, Riggs McConville, Kristen McConville again, and Jalen Wolfinger.
To wrap up our shows here today, I'd just like to say, let's put our hands together for the ring help and the volunteers that helped behind the scenes to put on the shows today, because I know there's a lot of work that goes in. With that being said, I think it's been very good, a lot of very good livestock that came through the ring here this afternoon, but going in to pick our champion feeder steer, I think there's one in particular that wins very comfortably for me, and then another one just kind of falls in logically into second, but I'll go out and pick our champion. We'll let that second place in that class come back in, and I'll get you a reserve. But let's put our hands together for these exhibitors one last time.
champion market steer calf is exhibited by Jalen Wolfing. Entering the ring now, we have the reserve from that class exhibited by Emma Howard. Champion market steer calf is exhibited by Crystal McCon. We're now going to start lining up for our final drive, which will consist of the winners from the breeding heifer show, the market heifer show, and the market steer show. For those of you who want to do pen of 5, please start setting up your pens of 5 in the staging area. Thank you.
Yes.
The calf show with the champions of each division.
As we get these champion and reserves of each division out here for overall, I'd just like to say again, I thought it was a very competitive show. My compliments to you guys. I thought there was a lot of really high quality animals that came through the ring. I'll go out and show you which ones are my favorite, but again, let's put our hands together for these exhibitors.
Your champion feeder calf is the market steer exhibited by Jalen Wolfinger. And your reserve champion is also Jalen Wolfinger. It is your preview exhibited by Paige Wallace. The banners for the champion and reserve feeder calf are sponsored by the Dawson County Ag Society. Coming into the ring next, we'll have our pen of 5 exhibits of pen of 5.
We don't just look for you.
Pen of 5, this is your second call. This is your second call. You have 1 minute to get your pen of 5 together and get them to the front of the ring. Homestead Bank is still giving out root beer floats in the northwest corner of the arena if you got a sweet tooth, so give it a root beer float.
Anybody? Can I throw this up to you?
Yeah, no problem.
I've only whacked it like 12 times. Oh.
There you go.
Hearing the exhibits from the clubs, calf show, so the pin of 5.
There was a lot of text messages. Sure was. I'm just kidding. I hear you. Leave my far behind on. No, one rooted for.
In the ring now, we have a pin of 5. So we have a pin of 5 from the 100th Meridian Club and a pin of 5 from the Tail Twisters Club.
I think we have 2 really nice pens of 5s out here. This group over here to my left, I think they're, if you're judging off uniformity, I think collectively they match up really good in just size and type and kind, so they have that going for them out here. But this group over here, I think generally speaking, probably just did the best in the show from a quality standpoint. I think they're just a little bit, they're just collectively bigger, stouter, more powerful cattle that just perform better out here in the show ring. So it gets really close out here for the pens of 5, but this group over here is going to go ahead and be our champion, and then you guys be really close reserve. Let's give them a round of applause.
Our champion pin of 5 from the feeder calf show is the Tail Twisters Club, and our reserve champion is the 100th Meridian Club. The plaque is currently getting engraved, so this year's winners will just go ahead and get engraved on that too. This way around. And that concludes our feeder calf show. Thank you all for coming out and watching the feeder calf show, dairy show, and pup calf show. As you leave, please help me thank our judge today. His name is Cal Schultz. And please go ahead and thank the extended